Hi, I'm your host, Johnny Langdon. Brand new program that we're throwing together here for you. We're talking softball, and we are talking softball. Today we'll be talking about hitting those long bombs, past and present. My two special guests today, Mr. Mark Miklos and Mr. Nick Frizell. We also, a little later on in the program, a little special segment for you, EST Blues. So you stay with us because we're talking softball. Welcome back. I'm here at the beautiful Greater Cleveland Slow Pitch Hall of Fame in Euclid, Ohio. And every jersey, every bat, every trophy, everything here has a story, and we'll be bringing it to you. Earlier on, I was telling you that we're going to talk about power, and we are. My little brother Pat has got a big story for you right now about power.
Thanks, Johnny. The home run. Nothing in the game has garnered more attention than the long ball. From rule changes that have tried to limit the amount of home runs hit, to the equipment that continues to challenge those limits, softball has become a game of feet. 300 feet, 400 feet, and beyond. But there was an era long before live bats and even livelier balls, and there were men who hit home runs, lots of home runs. Men like Ronnie Anatico in the 60s, who ushered in Steve Loya's era in the 70s. Steve passed the baton to Mike Masenko, the man who has become synonymous with the home run. These three men, along with many others here at the Hall of Fame, paved the way for today's generation of power hitters. Johnny's with two of those guys right now.
Thanks, Patrick. With me here tonight are two very, very special guests, Nick Frizell and Mark Miklos, and we'll be talking about the long ball. Well, here you guys are in the initial program, and I'm glad to have both of you. Nick, when did you start playing ball?
Actually started playing softball when I was 6.
In midget league or?
East Lake Boys League.
East Lake Boys, okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Mark?
I didn't start till I was about 17 or 18 years old in the Euclid Teen League.
You got all this wonderful equipment. Obviously, you both use all these new bats, and the balls are going down now in compression. What bat are you using now, Nick?
I use the Easton Tri-Shell Connection.
And Tri-Shell, is that the bat that bends and all that?
It's got a connector piece in the middle, and it actually has a piece of rubber sandwiched between two aluminum walls.
Wow. Why don't you just use a tennis racket?
It'd be nice.
It would be nice. Mark, what kind of bat are you using right now?
I use the Steele's Axe Handle XXX.
Axe handle. What does that mean?
The handle is oval shaped to help line up your knuckles.
When you first started playing, Nick, what kind of bat were you using?
Actually, I used a Steele's Elliott 38-ounce bat.
The one with all the orange
Well, that was
stars?
back when I bought my own bat.
Right,
Yeah,
back
it
when
was
you
about
bought your own
13.
bat. We'll be back. I'm glad you said that. Mark, I've been around you for a long time. I've watched you use a bat with black tape on it. How did you all of a sudden start escalating to these $300 and $400 bats?
Well, as the equipment got better, it became more expensive, and I just bought them.
I'll go back to what Nick was saying. Nick, you're playing for a squad that's sponsored by a big bat company, and you're comfortable with that. Do they give you 2, 3, 4 bats? How does that work?
Actually, beginning of the year, you end up getting one, and anytime it dents or cracks or anything happens to it, you send it back and we get one
Dents
brand
and
new
cracks. A $300, $400 bat, and they dent and crack?
Yes.
Reason for?
The walls, the thickness are very thin. As far
Very
as to get a trampoline effect, actually, the walls actually give and push back. And if there's a chance that the wall doesn't push back, you leave a nice big dent in there.
Leave it, the weather affect that in any way,
Oh,
shape?
definitely, the cold.
Definitely the weather will, huh?
Yeah.
Mark, you're a lefty. There's not very many lefties around that hit the ball. How far do you think you can hit a ball with the new bats?
I would say when you hit it correctly, the best hit, I would say 350 plus, maybe 375.
375. Well, Nick, you were the home run champ this year. We had the opportunity to be there and watch you. The one you hit to win it was well over 400 feet. What bat were you using at that time?
Actually, I was using a regular tri-shell without the connector piece. It didn't bend.
It didn't bend?
No.
Okay. Mark, Nick, budgets are a big thing in softball these days. I would imagine that a C team with a $15,000 budget is on schedule.
Where you play, Nick, you play in the AB circuit, what kind of budget is appropriate for that level?
Actually, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere between 30 and 40,000.
Wow.
Just for travel
And the reason for that is because you have to go farther because there's less A teams? Or?
There's less tournaments around here. We usually have to go out of, further south or out of Ohio to go play. So we got hotel expenses, travel, stuff like that.
Well, here I got both of you, and I've known you since you were children. Now you're at the level where you could go play ball wherever you want. And it seems very strange to me that you guys aren't playing in the open somewhere. And is there a reason for that? I mean, I find it difficult to believe you guys are playing under a home run shelter, per se. When you could hit 3, and I've seen it, and you could hit 3, and I've seen it. You're playing under 5, 7, 8. How do you change your game?
You mean how do you change your game with the home run limit?
Yeah.
Well, you want to try to hit 3-run home runs or grand slam home runs, and you have to try to hit the ball backside or up the middle or in a hole to get on base. If there's not 2 guys on when you come up to bat.
Nick, I've watched you in the last 3 or 4 years. I've also watched you go backside with the best of them now. How long have you been working on that?
Long time. It takes a lot of practice.
Just all of a sudden one day it just came down, or was it more a mental process?
Actually, to be honest with you, you started it back when I went to play with First Merchants with you. I remember having practices where you could only hit it backside. Well, I kept it up.
That's not my rule. That goes all the way back to playing for my father. Mark, being a left-hander, is there any difference in the home run situation for you?
As far as?
As far as when you're going to explode, when you're going to use them?
I would say anytime you come up to bat when there's 2 or more guys on base, you're looking to get your pitch to drive the ball out of the park.
Does wind play any factor in that for you being a lefty?
I guess.
Or you just don't care?
I guess it could matter, if the wind's blowing in heavy from right field, and I know that day it might be hard to get one out, then I might not even try it and let the guy behind me go for it.
How important is practice to where you guys have developed? You as a third baseman, you as a DH first baseman, pitcher, the statue. I mean, how much practice do you guys really put in? Batting practice, regular practice? Go ahead, Nick.
Actually, I hit whenever I can.
Whenever you can.
Batting practice, fielding practice. Usually in the off season, I play in an indoor league in a gym, so I get some infield practice there.
Off the hardwood floor.
Off the hardwood floor, and our winter workouts, we usually get ground ball practice.
What about you, Mark?
I try to hit whenever I can. I carry at least 15 to 20 balls in the trunk of my car at any time. So if you come across an open field and somebody's there to pitch, I'll take swings.
What would you guys do if you had any one thing that you could do to improve your game, your overall ball game? Nicky?
That's a good one. Maybe add a little bit more speed.
As far as base running?
Base running, getting to the ball in the hole or something like that.
Mark?
Probably we try to drop a few pounds, so you're, when you're playing in tournaments, you may not become as fatigued as you play that 5 or 6 games.
Okay, now we're talking diet. Nick, 3-4 years ago, I watched you drop 60 pounds in about 4 months.
Yeah.
How did that affect your ball game?
It affected my swing a lot. My swing was, at that time, was based around my big gut. I had to close my stance up a little bit. Actually, it took me a while, but I got used to being lighter again.
So it helped your ball game?
Definitely.
What about you, Mark? I know that you were on a supplement program and you do lift weights pretty much religiously through the whole year. You were skinny when you were a little boy in the neighborhood, but you've put on the weight and also the strength, so obviously it's helped you. Do you recommend that to people?
I would say so. When I started out, I was actually a singles hitter, and then as I got bigger and stronger, through practice, I was able to learn how to drive the ball out of the, park. I would say that, I think the strength helps also, as you're playing in a lot of games, being that I'm a DH, I don't become as fatigued. Later on in the tournament, I still have a lot of power left.
Mark, last year you played on the C level, and you on the A level. And you guys played each other in local tournaments. When the families are here to watch those games, it's probably a lot of fun. But how does it affect your family when you go on the road and fly to St. Louis or you go on the road and you drive to West Virginia, how does it affect your families?
Actually, I try to bring my family with me whenever possible. It's nice. Our backer pays for our hotel, whether you bring your wife and kids or whether you're rooming up with somebody. So it's kind of nice. If we can drive and the whole family can make it, I'll bring the whole family.
It's wonderful to have that $30,000, $40,000 backer.
It's nice.
What about you, Mark?
It's somewhat a little tougher for me, being a single father. I have to try to find somebody to watch Matthew when I'm not, home. So it's a little tougher for me to, try to go on the road. If I bring him with me, then I hate to put that burden on somebody else to watch him while I'm playing.
Well, you guys have been on the same teams, been on the travel teams together. Now you're on separate squads in the same league. What do you think Nick excels at, and Nick, what do you think Mark excels at? Go ahead, Nick, you go first.
Definitely, Mark's dangerous to plate anytime, whether there's a guy on or not. If there's nobody on, he's gonna go for the base hit. And playing third base, I don't know, from playing against him so long or playing with him, I know when it's coming backside because you can always see his back foot drop.
Right. Well,
but
that's what it's on.
He's always trying to get on base no matter what.
Well, that's good. Being a team ball player. Both you guys are, by the way. Go ahead.
I would say when I pitched against Nick this year and played against Nick this year, he's probably the toughest out I come up against. He's hard to read where he's going to hit the ball. I know if if the situation dictates that he's going to be looking deep, so I would try to pitch away from, keep it away from him so he could maybe force him to go backside. But he's probably, without a doubt, the best hitter I've played against.
Understandable. When you guys were younger, way back when you first started playing, what kind of ball player do you think you were? Previous to this tennis racket equipment, I'll call it right now. Go ahead.
Actually, I was young. I was learning. I don't think I became an actual better ball player, to be honest, until I was about 25.
After you were playing for 15 years.
For some reason, I think it might be a maturity thing. I don't know. I noticed it back then.
Well, maturity is one part of it, but also mental.
Right.
Once you start understanding the concepts of winning in softball, it's just not hitting.
Right.
It's when to hit and why to hit. What about you when you first started playing?
When I first started playing, I was a total singles hitter, and I was an outfielder. I used to run all over the diamond. Used to have speed, and as time grew on, my game changed.
When you guys are playing ball and the home runs are out, and you've already hit into, say, 2 double plays, how do you mentally approach that next time at bat? I mean, are you reading a pitcher? Are you reading a situation? What would you do, Nick?
Well, first of all, you leave the 2 double plays behind you. You don't think about them. When you go to the plate, you shouldn't think about anything but looking for gaps to see where you want to hit the ball. If you get your pitch, hit it there. It's basically all I do.
Very good, very sound.
I look for a specific hole. I'm looking maybe between short and third or between first and second, but you still have to get that pitch to be able to hit it there. The ball will tell you where you have to hit it.
Yes.
Where it's pitched to you.
I was talking about double plays and stuff. Let's talk defense. Where do you think you are now, projected in your age brackets, defensively? Have you come along defensively with your bat, Mark?
I would say no. I am definitely not the defensive player I used to be. Maybe age, size, lack of speed has taken that away from my game. Nobody really will ask me to play on their team for my defense, probably for my offense.
Okay, understandable. Nicky?
I think my defense has come along a lot since I lost 60 pounds, first of all.
Right.
But playing at the B or the A level, a lot of guys tell you catch what's hit at you.
Right.
But you still want to make a great play. No matter, if you can get to it, you get to it. If you make a great play, just make the throw. But it's nice to be lighter so you can actually, make a diving catch and get up and throw somebody out. But I definitely think my defense has improved.
In the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a decline of upper-level teams. Now that I heard you say 30, 40, maybe even $50,000 budgets, it's very understandable why. So what's a younger ball player, a 23-year-old, 24-year-old with talent to go the distance, what's he to do? Do you have any suggestions?
The best thing to do, and I did it personally, was you got to break away from your friends. back a long time ago, I hooked up a Frizell Electric that played out here in the Euclid League with Ohio Sealants and everybody. I actually called Frizell up and says, I'm looking to play, do you need anybody? Well, when I went out, I had a good year, and next thing you know, Sealants came up to me and says, hey, we want you to come play with us next year.
Right.
And I mean, the biggest thing is you got to get away from your friends. You got to be able to
So you have to
break
make
away.
a commitment to the game, and obviously you both have. Mark, the equipment is outrageous. You, not being on a team sponsored by a big company like Nicky is, what do you do to procure your equipment? How much would you spend, or do you spend?
Probably I spend anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a year on softball bats.
Really? And do you use all this equipment, or?
Yes, I generally will try everything that I purchase. Some I will keep, some I will sell, some I will trade,
Right now, what is the best bat out there right now?
The best bat out there right now is the Mikan Ultra 2, in my opinion.
That's the bat that's supposed to be woven fiber, and
It's a composite bat.
Composite meaning?
Fiber wrapped bat. There's no aluminum in it. And it's $300 to purchase one.
Wow.
And then we'll place it one time if it cracks.
One time if it cracks. I happened to see that in a home run hitting contest this past season, and people I know hit the ball 330. We're hitting them 360, maybe 370. So that's a reality.
It's
obviously.
I would say it's a possible 30 to 50 foot difference off a good double wall bat.
Wow. That's amazing. Every 10, 12 years the game changes. Where do you see the game changing? And it has been changed in the last 6 years, so 4 or 5 years from now, where's the game going? Hockey equipment for the pitcher, or goalie equipment for you at third?
I've seen pitchers with hockey helmets on and masks.
Really?
Yeah.
So the game has progressed there. I also heard that they're playing in the upper stratosphere levels, they're playing on hardball diamonds. Have you guys seen that?
I've actually played one in Richmond, Indiana. They've gone to 90-foot bases. Down the line it was 328. I think center field was about 420. And they've actually moved the pitcher's mound back about 5 feet, I believe.
I think that's the move in the future, is to move the bases to 70 and the pitcher's mound back 6, 7, 8 feet, just to give them protection. What do you guys think about that?
Well, like Nick said earlier, I think the total premium on defense, like you say, if the ball's not hit pretty much directly at you or within a short range of you, you're not going to catch it anymore. The balls are still hard enough, and the bats are so advanced that you won't see a shortstop go in the hole anymore and make a play and throw the guy out. It's just past him. The pitcher has pretty much no chance.
Let's go back again. When you guys were young, what teams did you play for? And do you think those teams could even compete right now?
Right now, with the equipment today, possibly. But, local level, about a C level probably.
Probably.
I mean, the A, B level is just outrageous. You've got ex major players playing.
Right.
With the lack of teams at the major level, they're just floating around everywhere.
Right. How about you, Mike?
I believe some of the teams I played on in the early 90s could definitely compete with the teams that are playing today, the teams I played on.
So. I'd like to thank both you gentlemen for being here. And one more thing. Could you guys stick around and answer some questions from EST Blues? He'd really love to speak to both of you about some of your idiosyncrasies of softball.
Sure.
We're talking softball, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm EST Blues, and I'm here with Nick Frizell, Hall of Fame Player of the Year, and Mark Miklos, Willoughby Premier League Home Run King. How you guys doing today?
Good.
All right. First thing I want to ask you guys is what kind of bats are you using here?
I got the Easton Tri-Shell Connection.
What do you got here?
I use a Steele's XXX.
All right. Tell me a little about this Easton Tri-Shell here. What's going on with that? What's up with the
Actually,
grip?
this is a two-piece bat that the rubber piece here, when you hit the ball, the bat actually gives like a golf club a little bit. And the barrel's made out of actually 3 walls. There's aluminum, like a super ball, then another wall of aluminum, so it's sandwiched in there.
Okay, what is that?
A little bit more trampoline effect in it.
Okay. What about the grip here? Why do you tape it up like that?
Tape it up to make it a little bit thinner, and I tape the knob because I hold the knob in my hand. So when I put stickum on it, I got plenty, I don't lose the bat.
Okay. Mark, what do you got over here? What's on? Looks like
the thing
awkward
unique about
shape
this
there.
bat is the X-handle grip.
Yeah.
It's an oval grip, and it lets you line your knuckles up.
All right. I want to talk a little about your stance. When you're in a batter's box, say you're seeing a pitch coming in, how would you normally start with Nick? How would you start, like, with the pitcher coming out towards you? How would you be standing in the box? Basically, just kind of...
Actually, my back foot's usually at the tip of home plate.
Okay.
And I keep my back foot, I have a very open stance. That way, if depending on where the pitch is at, if it's outside, I can always step in, go backside to right field. Or if it's right there, I can just step straight ahead.
Okay. Now, when you're stepping, are you, like, do you just... Give me, like, a general idea, maybe a slow motion swing.
Actually, I just go, you step straight at the pitcher, you push off your back foot, and you want to be on your front foot as you hit the ball.
Okay.
Just put your whole body into it.
All right. Now, where in your, like, batting area, like, say where the ball is, where would you want that to be? Like, I mean, general idea of...
It depends on home run swing.
Yeah, home run swing.
Home run swing, definitely right here, right at your chest.
Right at the chest, and just not in front, just right even?
You always want to catch the ball out front.
And just go up after it?
Right about here.
And typically, where do you like to go for the most power? You like to go left center?
Left center.
Left center. All right, Mark, what about you?
I stand up to the front of the plate too, only I stand almost as close to the plate as I can get.
Are you always in the batter's box being that far up?
Yep, I'm as close as I can get. Reason being, I don't want an outside pitch if I'm trying to pull most everything when I'm up. So I make an outside pitch, almost a middle of the plate pitch, by moving as close as I can to the plate.
Okay. Now let me see a little bit, let me see your stance as you would be getting in the batter's box waiting for a pitch.
I'd be about as close as I can to the plate. About like that.
Okay. And now,
all the way back.
You see the pitch coming, you know, where do you want to hit it in your swing?
For the home run swing, I try to catch it here, hit the bottom of the ball, and send it back where it came from.
All right, now you talk about hitting the bottom of the ball. What does that mean specifically? Why are you trying to hit the bottom of the ball?
You hit the bottom of the ball to get the spin as the ball goes up in the air to travel out.
Does that give, like, kind of climbs the airwaves?
Yeah.
Gives you more distance? How much distance would that add, if you had to guess?
That's hard to say, but there would be a lot of balls that you could spin out of the park that if you hit the middle of the ball, you might not muscle it out, but if you spin it, it will spin out.
Is that your focus on pitch? You focus on the bottom of the ball, middle of the ball?
Actually, I'm not much of a spinner. I try to hit the middle of the ball every time, whether it be from the bottom of the ball, like drive through the middle of the ball. It's all power. I try not to spin a ball. I've hit a lot of knuckleballs out.
Right.
Which
All
are
power.
no spin.
If you hit the bottom of the ball, it will naturally spin.
Now, what if you're trying to hit the ball just for a base hit? What are you shooting for then?
Then I try to hit the middle of the ball.
Okay, what about?
Middle of the top half.
You're trying to hit line drives or hard grounders, all that? Okay. We're talking about, like, how you get out of the batter's box. You're, like, way up. You come out, you hit. Does that, like, interfere with you getting up the baseline when you do that?
Nope.
Okay.
Reason I'm up, like I say, is mainly for you, Triple SA, too. That's where the pitch is basically 3 to 10, but they stay in this area here.
3 to 10 feet?
You want to stay up on the plate. Now, if it's ASA, where they're going to throw 6 to 12 and the arc's coming like this, then you probably make the adjustment and move back some.
So what would that be, about a foot back?
I usually move back no more than a foot and then make an adjustment from there depending on what the pitcher's doing.
And that's, what about, like, ISA or NSA, things like that? Is like
I don't really play ISA. NSA is 6 to 10. It's fairly close to an ASA.
Okay. How do, like, trick pitches affect you, say, in USSSA when the pitchers are dancing around? How do you lock into that?
Actually, you just watch the ball.
Yeah.
Just make sure he releases it. If a guy's jumping around like classic our pitcher, don't watch his hand, don't watch his body. Just watch the ball, wait for it to come to you.
Watch the ball. What do you look for?
That's pretty much the same thing I would do.
Do you prefer, now let's say, I know you're talking about you want to pitch up here, but what if you get that flat pitch? Did you ever play like hardball growing up? Did you like to really just dig into one of those and just maybe break habit? And
Actually, flat pitches are fun to hit too because it actually makes you hit off your front foot, so you're getting your whole body into it.
that you feel like that's your kind of philosophy on hitting or you stay away from flat pitches altogether?
You try to stay away, but if there's 2 strikes on you and you got to go for it, I mean, you know, you could still go down and get it as long as you keep your bat parallel when you're going to get it.
Wait, let's see that again.
You don't want to go like that.
Right.
You want to go down and keep your bat parallel when
Try
you're
to
going
keep
down
it
to
level.
get it.
Let me see how you would swing it, maybe a flat pitch like that.
Flat pitch?
Yeah, just a flatter pitch.
Would be basically all like this.
Just keeping pretty much semi-square on the shoulders and keeping everything down and driving.
Just driving right through it.
Okay, what kind of conditioning do you do to increase your strength in swinging and your endurance and whatnot?
All through the winter, I do nothing but power lift.
Like squats or bench
Squats,
pressing?
deadlifts, bench presses, clean and jerks. It's all. I'm not lifting to look good. I'm lifting to get stronger and bigger.
Get big?
Yeah.
Not looking for definition,
No.
just looking bulk
I'll
up.
never get it.
What about you? What kind of...
I pretty much lift 12 months out of the year, 5 days a week. Summertime, I don't go as heavy as I do in the winter, so I'm not as tight to play softball. But in the wintertime, too, I heavy up on everything.
And what kind of diet do you maintain? Do you eat eggs, or are you eating steaks? What are you eating? I mean, what do you do for energy in the meantime? I mean, I know weightlifting takes a lot out of
I
it.
try to stay with a high protein, low carbohydrate diet. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes you cheat.
Now, what's in a high protein diet? What does that include? Is that like steak with fish, or with
Yeah, a lot of chicken, a lot of steak,
Is
a
like-
lot of lean meats.
low fat kind of deal?
I take up to 4 protein drinks a day.
What's in a protein drink? What is that like? Just like
The protein powder and milk.
protein powder?
Skim milk.
Blend them up, put a banana in there, you're good to go. Do anything like that? Any kind of?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know, a couple years ago I was about 360 pounds, 320, something like that. I'm down to 260, 270 right now. I was eating about a dozen eggs a day, about 5-6 chicken breasts a day, a lot of water, a lot of protein drinks. Absolutely no cardio though.
What made you decide to slim down, or was that just something you had to do, or is that something you wanted to do to improve your game?
Come the fourth inning and you're breathing heavy like you just ran 5 miles and no endurance.
And you're just doing a walk-off.
Oh, basically. And my game suffered a lot from it.
Wow. Now, you lost 100 pounds.
No, I lost about 65, probably 60
Okay, my
pounds.
math is awful. Okay, what did you have to do to lose that weight? It couldn't have been strictly dieting, could it?
It was just all dieting, and actually it was less rest between sets when I was lifting.
Okay.
That's basically all my cardio. I mean, when you do powerlifting and you're doing deadlifts or clean and jerks, you're actually coming from the floor doing your whole body, and you just don't stop. It's like one continual full body exercise.
And you're doing that how many hours a day?
Actually, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, about 4 or 5 days a week.
4 or 5 days a week, in between days taking off, and
Not really taking off. Just the only day I think I take off is Tuesdays.
And Mark,
Tuesday, Sunday.
I lift Monday through Friday, 5 days a week.
5 days. How long during that time?
Usually an
Hour,
hour, 15 minutes. I do, one body part a day. Like Monday might be chest, Tuesday arms, Wednesday back, Thursday shoulder, Friday legs.
All right, great tips. I'd like to thank Nick Frizell,
Thank you.
Mark Miklos.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. And we're talking softball.
Hey, we're talking softball. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.